Welcome to Bar Association with Wolf and Long. We're on Get Vocal, which is a brand new platform here. We're going to be talking about things we love. Get Vocal's here to get people to talk about things they love, things they're passionate about, bringing some civility back to the internet. I'm here today with Renaissance man Eric Barron. He's a photographer. He spent some time as a mixologist here in LA, craft mixologist, very good at what he does. And we're going to be talking about beer, some of our favorites. I'm going to pop one open right now. What are you drinking today, Eric?
I got two. For the high, first of all, yeah. I have two. I have both from Black Market Brewing. I'll show you the cans. I got a New England style double IPA, and I have a Cucumber Goza. I'll start with the IPA. This is the most recent one I've tried, and it's really digging it right now.
All right. Sweet. All right. I'm doing Tusker. It's a malty beer from Kenya, actually. I don't know if you guys can see that. Bring it close. It's like the malted barley comes from Kenya itself. They make it all in house. Their slogan's actually "My Country, My Beer." So that's the first one I'm going to try. The other one I'm going to do is this Orange Wit from Coronado Brewery. So we'll get to that. All right. Tell me about the IPA, brother.
Yeah. Well, actually, just check it out and see how hazy it is.
Yeah.
So it's not really a characteristic of like your typical California IPAs. It is a New England style IPA, double IPA actually. So this is kind of like, I'm from New Hampshire. This is kind of like what a lot of breweries that when I started drinking and like my hometown were doing. It's really nice. It's like a lot of citrus to it, very juicy, not that hoppy especially for a double IPA, not very bitter at all.
Yeah. So I feel like IPA has gotten really popular like over the last couple of years. What do you feel like distinguishes a good IPA from something that's like maybe trying too hard to be way too hoppy or kind of over the top and unbalanced? What's like your favorite kind of thing to look for?
Well, yeah, that's kind of it. I think is like a lot of these like bigger microbreweries, like the macro breweries or whatever, Lagunitas and stuff like that. They just tend to cram more hops into their beers, and they don't ever change the malt profile very much. So it's only the hop profile that ever changes. So it's either more bitter or less bitter, but then the base beer doesn't change too much. Sierra Nevada is actually pretty good about changing up their malt profile on like from their pale ale to their torpedo. I mean they're like the original, but I think they're still a great example of what a good IPA is, like a California IPA. And then you have other breweries like Dogfish Head out of Rhode Island or Delaware, maybe. One of those two. They're doing a bunch of different like 90-minute, like really changing their hop times and their malt profiles, and it's really nice and like full rounded beer. It's not just like blow away your face with hops. It has some like fruitiness, some citrus. It's like a little bit more of a whole thing. Just like this one is actually really well rounded as well. You know, it's definitely not a California IPA. It's definitely juicy, like some grapefruit, some maybe some orange, blood orange. A lot of that, but some good weediness comes through underneath, which is not typical for an IPA.
Right on. Do you feel like that's more of a IPA drinker's IPA, or more of like a introduction IPA, like an introductory IPA?
I think this is a good one, good intro IPA actually. It's because it's not so bitter. It's pretty low on the bitter IBU. It doesn't say what the IBU scale is on it. So I assume it's pretty low. It doesn't taste bitter at all. This is a good one for someone who likes like a Hefeweizen or something to come in from a wheat beer and then kind of transition into maybe something a little bit more bitter, but not like out of this world.
Cool, man. Yeah, I'm doing this one's actually a pale ale. I know I said it was malty before. I get a lot of malt in it, but it's not super heavy. It doesn't have like a heavy body at all. It's really thin mouthfeel. I actually think it drinks pretty light for a pale ale. Something you could throw in a cooler, maybe finish up with. I would say it's a good burger beer, like a good beer you could have with like heavy food like that, barbecue food. I'm actually really surprised. This thing did not get super high ratings, but I dig it. Like I would definitely throw this in a cooler and go out on the boat or something. Like it would be super suited for that. And it's been our summer, like here in LA, it's been super extended. So I feel like this is the kind of thing you could definitely take with you on like one of those hot beach days.
Yeah, it's mid-August. We got 2 months left.
Yeah, I know, and it's
summer till October.
So yeah, man. That brewery you're talking about, where's it located?
Oh, so it's a Black Market Brewery. They're out of Temecula, actually. So they're fairly local to Southern California. I mean, they're great. They have actually a pretty wide range of different beers, and they're solid across the board. I mean, they're pretty well known in the craft beer community. That's just being like a really like a quality product. So
cool, man. Well, there's nothing like good beers. We're always talking about here on Bar Association. We're always talking about alcohols we like, beers we like, spirits we love. We did some distilleries last time around, but we're also talking about the third space of the bar. So if you're ordering, let's say you don't know what you're talking about. Let's say you're brand new to the bar, and you're brand new, and you to IPAs or whatever, and you need a recommendation from the bartender. How would you go about ordering something brand new from a bartender if it was you?
Oh, you mean like the right way to do it?
Yeah, the right way to do it. Exactly.
Well, so the first thing, if you're really unfamiliar, I mean, if you've never had a beer whatsoever before, maybe you can just, which is I think unlikely. I would just like pick one out, try a couple. But if you have like a better idea of what you a little bit, and maybe you're like, I want to try an IPA. We'll come in with that. Say, I'm not really familiar with IPAs, but I want to try a good IPA. Do you have any suggestions? Don't just say, what do you have for beers? I like any beer. Give me a beer, because there's nothing.
Yeah, no, I feel like the best thing you can do is tell me what you like and tell me what you're interested in, because then I get inspired to kind of tell you what I'm interested in, what I like. So if you just tell me like
a little specificity, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm actually interested in what you want to drink. I'm not there to kind of guide you along or push you into anything. I'm there to kind of help you figure out exactly what you want. So, I mean, I don't know if that's true for you behind the bar as well.
Yeah, I mean, with beers, I tend to like really dark or really like sour, kind of weird beers, and most people don't like that stuff. So if I just give you what I like, chances of you liking it are much less. And the same is true of like cocktails. I'm gonna give you something extra bitter, and you're not gonna like it if you don't like bitterness. But if you don't say that you don't like bitterness, if you just say, give me what you like, it's really a crapshoot, you know?
What's the worst thing people say when they come to the bar to ask you for a drink? What's the worst thing, like worst directive you've got?
Well, it's you can go two ways. It can be and the worst, in my opinion, is when people just come up and they say, "Oh, make me any drink, just make me a drink, surprise me." I'm like, surprise, and that's the same problem where I have no idea what you like. I don't know who you are, you know. And then you give them a drink and they're like, "I don't like this." And you're like, "Well, too bad. You're paying for it anyway."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that's really, really annoying. And I always try to like guide people to be a little bit more specific, to at least give me like what they don't like. But then on the other hand, they can come in and say, I want something that's like refreshing, spicy, juicy, herbaceous, just like loaded with too many specifics that don't go together. So it's going to taste brown and gross.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity for you who are out there who haven't been behind the stick, don't know how the bartenders behind the bar talk about things. When we say a cocktail's brown, that means it's got no flavor. It's just there's so much stuff going on in it that you can't taste anything. Nothing stands out. The spirits, the liqueurs, nothing in it really is showcased. That's when we say the cocktail's brown.
Yeah.
We also came up with a word for it. It's called a pizza shot.
Yeah.
Where it may as well just be a slice of pizza because there's no flavor to it. There's nothing unique about it. So we just call it a pizza shot. And then if that's what you like, more power to you, but that's the worst kind of cocktail you can get. And that's usually what you get when you ask for 5 or 6 different flavor profiles.
I just think of it as like a painter's palette, and you have all those colors, and then you just go like this. And that's the color you get, you know? You can make something really nice, but then you just fucked it up.
Right on. So let's you have a second beer, right?
I do.
All right, I'm pulling out my second one too. Let's see how we do here.
This is actually my favorite beer of the summer. It's a perfect summer beer.
And that's the Gose?
It's the Gose, yeah. So that's a German style beer, which is unique because it doesn't hold whatever I can't say it. There's that law which basically specifies how you make ales and how you make lagers. They can only have so many ingredients, but the Gose is exempt from that because this is a California Gose, so it's exempt anyway. But the Gose that it's based on is exempt from that because it's considered a regional beer. It's a top fermented beer, similar to an ale rather than a lager. It's at least 50% malted barley. Usually they add salt or it's salted water in there. So it's kind of like typically like a lemony citrus flavor with that weedy profile and then some saltiness to it. This one also has cucumber in it. Kind of tastes like spa water, but in a really good way, I guess.
Right on.
Yeah.
Who is it good for? Like if you were going to recommend it for somebody, what would you say if you like A? How would you recommend this guy?
So if you like light beers, if you like sours, if you like something with a little bit more zing to it, that's refreshing, I would say try this out because it's a little salty, a little cucumbery. It's light. It just really goes down easy. You can just, it's not too high in alcohol content.
Right on, right on. I'm going to be doing this Blood Orange Wit. This is by Coronado Brewery right here.
Yeah.
This is actually really wonderful. It's light. There's like hints of coriander in it. This is really for me like a gin drinker's beer. Like if you like Few, and we featured Few last week,
oh, nice.
But Few Brewery does the breakfast gin. They've got a bunch of florals and a bunch of herbs in their guy. This guy, it's interesting. It's got like honey in it. It's a really nice light beer without being super that cereal taste, without that little hint of acidity that you get in some of the lighter beers like Miller or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's got fruit in it, but it's not fruity, if that makes any sense. There's notes of like orange peel, there's notes of lemon peel, there's notes of citrus oils. So it's got a nice body, a nice mouthfeel. It's perfect for a hot day. Let me show you guys. Can you guys see the can there? We're going to be posting a picture of this on Instagram, so you guys will see more. But this Blood Orange Wit is fantastic. I love blood oranges and cocktails. I would put them in as much as I possibly can. Yeah, I would definitely feature this or give this to you guys. It's got a really round flavor profile. If you guys ever look at a flavor profile wheel, the rounder the better in terms of balance, unless you want something that's super over the top. But yeah, man, this is going to be my vote. I think we're probably going to get another 4-pack of this after we're done here. So tell us a little bit more about your time behind the bar, brother. What's the worst kind of ordering sequence you've seen so far in your time behind the bar?
Oh, I mean, there's so many. Like, people are. This is a pretty random, but I had one guy not that long ago come up and say, "Hey, can you run this card to see if it's declined before I order?" And I'm like, that's a different kind of thing.
Yeah. We actually, we've spent some time behind the bar together. So
yeah.
Like, I can tell you that we've seen some crazy stuff, but in general, you want to think about the other people who are at the bar, and you want to make sure that you're doing the kind of thing that you would do at any other public space where you're not creating a weird situation for anybody, especially when you're ordering something new, because you got to remember, everybody wants to try something new at the bar. Everybody wants to try something that's like unique or interesting for them. So you got to give them some space to do that. What's your worst horror story from behind the bar?
Oh, well, there's a couple, but the other day, actually a couple months ago, I did have a woman throw a drink in my face.
You were drinking your face? Literally,
no, she tried to throw it in my face, and the glass like bounced off the bar, and the drink mostly went in my face. So fortunately, the glass didn't hit me in the face. But yeah. I'd cut her off, and then she got extremely rude.
Okay. All right. So this is a great. All right. What is the? So I'm going to give you. You got a little bit of time here. Let's talk about when you have to cut somebody off. If you get cut off, because everybody's been there, or if you haven't been there, you will be there, right?
Of course, yeah.
What do you do? What do you do when you get cut off? What's the best way to handle it?
Well, what I do is I say, "Oh man, I didn't." I'm like, "Oh, sorry, thank you." Then I kind of make my exit cleanly as possible because you're being way obnoxious.
Right.
What happens a lot is you cut someone off, and I always try to do it as polite as possible. I'm saying, "I'm sorry, I can't serve you. It seems to me like you're slurring your speech, or you've had a couple drinks too many." Try not to make it really about them too much. But then people tend to escalate it and be like, "I'm not drunk. I can drink 20 more drinks." I'm like, gets a little weird at that point, you know?
Yeah, of course. So just so you guys know, when you get cut off, there's no shame in it, no judgment. We just want to make sure that you get home safe. Everybody else is having a good time as the bartenders. Eric, I'm gonna let you take us out on this one. What would you tell people?
Yeah, it's not about us being mad at you. We just want you to get home safe. We don't want to deal with anything too crazy at the bar. So we're really just looking out for your best interest.